Hey everybody, I'm ZXRyuu, here to help you wade through the minutia of game technology to help streamline your setup and to give you less stress and more fun. So today we're going to talk about how to get started in streaming for 2020. So there's kind of like 5 things that you need in order to get started, or at least I think there's 5 things you need to get started with game streaming on either Twitch or YouTube, or even recording video if you're like me and just like to play games and record them. So the first thing that you're going to need is a camera. You are the most important part of your stream. The stream starts with you. You provide the commentary, you provide the entertainment value, and the energy and some other things. I mean, just only you can bring to your stream. So you're the most important thing in your stream, not your technology, not your game. The games are kind of second to you. You are the most important thing to your stream. So you're going to need a camera. So the most important thing to look for in a camera when you're getting started with streaming is you're going to want to get a camera that has at least 720p. But more importantly, you want to look for something that has 60 frames per second that you can use to capture yourself and record with. 30 frames a second looks kind of choppy, especially nowadays when everything is moving over to 60 FPS for the most part. So you're going to want to look for a camera that has at least 720p, if not 1080p, with 60 frames a second. The second thing that you're going to need is you're going to need to start building a computer. Now, my recommendation for getting certain things for your computer is kind of like this. You're going to probably want some type of processor that's at least a quad core. You can kind of get away with dual core processors if you're using an external graphics card to handle some of your video processing. But for the most part, you're going to want a quad core processor. Nowadays in 2020, the average memory that computers have is between 8 and 16, so you can do 8 gigs of memory or you can do 16, depending on what you're planning to do. If you're planning on doing PC gaming, you'll probably want 16 gigs just so that you can use recording software and also just have enough memory overhead to play the games as well. You're also going to want to have, if you're a console gamer, you're going to want USB 3 ports. Also dedicated USB 2 bus as well, in case you want to hook up extra cameras in addition to your capture card, which are usually USB 3, or USB-C. There are some USB-C capture cards out there now, so if you want to get one of those, make sure that you've got USB-C on your machine when you start building it. The other thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get some kind of external solid-state drive. It makes it really easy to record to. It makes it really easy to kind of take it from one machine and move it to another for editing. So that's what I use. I use an external solid-state drive from Lacey. They're not that expensive, and they can go up in capacity pretty easily. So they're really good. I've had really good quality and reliability with them, so I've used them for a while. And they just work like champs, so I can't say anything but good about them. So I would recommend getting an external solid-state drive of some kind so that you can kind of record your video as well. On your computer, one thing that when you're looking to build a computer or you're looking to buy one thing that I would recommend, you may not use it depending on what kind of microphone and other thing that you want to use, but you probably want a computer that's got a line-in jack on the back. So those are really helpful for recording audio. I use a line-in jack on my computer to record all of my audio from my mixing board. But you don't have to do that. I mean, when you first start out, the computer that I started out with was an iMac that had 4 cores. It had 8 gigs of memory. It had an internal SATA spinning drive or a platter drive. And then I just attached an external solid-state drive to it. And it just had USB 3 on the back. It had no line-in jack or anything, but it did have a built-in microphone and a built-in camera, as well as an NVIDIA graphics card. So it was a really good machine to start with. I know a lot of people, there's kind of 2 camps. You can do the PC camp or the Mac camp. So I use both. I actually use a mix of both for what I do here. So I'm not in one camp or the other. If you are tight for money, you'll probably want to get something that's a PC that you kind of just build up yourself over time. And you may be able to customize it, the way you want a little bit better than if you were just to buy a Macintosh. I just really wanted something that was quick and easy to get started with, so I just bought a Macintosh that had everything I was looking for, and then I could just set it up and run it right out of the box. So that's something to consider. Kind of the last thing that you'll want to look for in a PC when you're building it is I'm going to recommend that you guys get an NVIDIA graphics card. I'm just hearing more and more stuff when I go and read about how ATI or AMD now, I guess, and Intel graphics kind of work with a program called OBS that I'm going to recommend that you guys use for video capture as well. Those two, AMD and Intel, don't work as well as NVIDIA does for processing video when recording, so I'm going to highly recommend that you guys go out and get an NVIDIA graphics card. Now, if you really want to use AMD or you really want to use Intel, that's fine, but you won't be able to access kind of some of the better processing features of OBS that really help your stream and really help your computer kind of do more things than it could normally. So I would really highly recommend that you guys go out and get an NVIDIA graphics card of some kind with at least 2 gigabytes of DDR5 memory. So that's those are my recommendations. So again, a quad-core processor, 8 to 16 gigs of memory, solid-state external drive that you can record to because it's got enough throughput that you can record to it really easily, an NVIDIA graphics card, a line-in jack, and then dedicated USB 3, USB 2, or USB-C buses. And what I mean by dedicated is that they're not like, you're not plugging in a USB 2 device into USB 3 ports because there's some really weird stuff that can happen. Just over the years, I've found that there's some weird backwards compatibility problems if you plug USB 2 devices and USB 3 devices into the same bus. It can have some problems. So it's just better if you're going to build your own machine or get a Macintosh or whatever, that you kind of look at what speeds and what types of ports your capture cards are going to use so that you can get either USB 3, USB 2, or USB-C. But you might want to just have a bus of each so that you guys can kind of get what you need out of your capture cards and cameras and whatever other peripherals you want to plug into your computer. So the next thing to get for starting and streaming is you're going to want to get the program OBS. It stands for Open Broadcaster Software. It's really powerful. It's really kind of tailored for gamers. It's free, at least at the time of this video. It's free. You can download it on their website. And once you install it on your computer, they have a PC version, they have a Mac version, and I believe they have a Linux version as well that you can do. So if you're wanting to play like Steam, on Linux or something like that, OBS works on Linux as well. So OBS is really powerful. It's really lightweight. And it allows you to do a lot of cool things with scenes and overlays and just a whole lot of different stuff. So I can't recommend OBS enough. It's so good. So I would recommend that you get the OBS software and you learn it. There's some great tutorials out on YouTube that you can go find to learn more about it. So you can find those just by searching OBS tutorial or whatever. And there's a lot of people out there that'll help you kind of get started in OBS. But I would recommend that you use OBS as your software on your computer when streaming and recording. Next, or the fourth thing, is you're going to want some kind of capture card. Now, if you're using PC, I would recommend that you go with AverMedia of some kind, either like their latest Live Gamer Extreme 2, or they have just some other stuff that's out there. I use the old Live Gamer Extreme, the first one, so that's why the Live Gamer Extreme 2 came to mind. If you're wanting to just find something that's really cheap from AverMedia, you can get on eBay and just search for AverMedia LGX and find one of the old ones. They're about, as of this video, $20 to $25 on eBay. So I think they're really easy to use. It's got an HDMI pass-through. It's got some connections on the front for line-in and headphones, and it also has a component option as well. So for console gamers, it works really well, and it's really inexpensive right now. If you're using the Macintosh, you might want to go with Elgato. They're the other kind of big company that's making streaming equipment and recording equipment. They are really good at making Macintosh-compatible stuff. Now, it's not to say that you can't use AverMedia on a Macintosh. You just have to be running Windows through Boot Camp if you want to do it that way. But Elgato makes it so that you can run most of their capture cards natively on the Macintosh. So, again, just kind of think about what you're wanting to do. I don't have one recommendation one way or the other. They're both great. I've used equipment from both companies, and I really like them. So there's no real hard way or the other. Just whether or not you're using PC or Mac might sway your decision a little bit, but I've used both of them and I like both of them. So either AverMedia or Elgato will work really well for you. And then finally, the fifth thing that you're going to need is either a game console, or you're going to want to just record with the window capture through OBS for your PC or Macintosh for whatever game you're going to be playing. So yeah, you either need your games or your console. So I mean, which you probably already have. It's really easy to just kind of run everything through OBS and capture it if you've already got it on your computer. So anyway. And then there's kind of more things you can do with kind of burying down into the minutia, I guess, of console gaming and of PC gaming as well. I'm not as much of a PC gamer, but I can give you some recommendations if you have any questions, or if you're wondering more about console, how to hook up certain consoles or whatever, let me know and I'll help you out. But anyway, those are the main things that you need. You need a camera that's got at least 60 frames a second, because you are the most important thing in your stream. You bring the energy, you bring the attitude, and you bring the entertainment. So that's you. Then your computer, having some stuff in there is good with a quad-core external solid-state drive, because it helps take away the pressure from your main C drive. And it also just makes it easier to move around for editing and doing some other things for your channel as well. And then you'll want to learn OBS. Look for tutorials online. At some point, I will probably come up with a video for just at an entry level how to use OBS, kind of like how I started out, I guess. And then, look for a capture card, either AverMedia or Elgato. There's some other ones out there too, but I don't know them as well as those two major companies. So again, if you're a PC person, you might want to go with AverMedia, but if you're a Macintosh person, you might want to use Elgato. So those are the two recommendations that I have. And then you're just going to want to have whatever game you want to play, either through capturing windows on OBS or through a console that you connect to any kind of capture card. So anyway, those are kind of the 5 things that you need to get started with streaming in 2020. So if you guys have any questions about a little bit more specifics on what maybe you need, or just some help in the right direction or whatever, leave me a question in the comments and I'll get back to you guys and help you out. As always, thanks for watching the video. Thanks for subscribing. I've got another goal that I actually thought of. Instead of trying to get 100 users on YouTube, I mean, I still want to do this, but instead of getting 100 subscribers on YouTube, the next goal that I want to try and meet is to get 50 followers on Twitch. So anyway, if you're not following on Twitch, that'd be awesome if you did. I stream stuff on Twitch live a lot of the times, but I also put stuff on YouTube as well for more streamlined videos and just higher quality videos. So anyway, I'm also on Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter at ZXRyuu as well. And you can ask me questions there, or whatever. I'm here to help you guys out. I want you guys to have as much fun as I do playing games and recording games and stuff. So I'm here to help you guys out if you need it. And thanks for watching the video, and we'll catch you guys later. See ya!